Hey, what's good? Minister Robinson here, Church of Real Talk. Mic Drop Monday, and we've got a wonderful, wonderful subject. It's all about the struggle. Do you dislike the struggle? No, for real, do you dislike it? Because sometimes the struggle can be kind of painful. Sometimes it can actually hurt. But you know what? I've kind of noticed that sometimes we go through the struggle so that we can reach our success. Sounds weird. Sounds kind of crazy, but you know what? I think our featured speakers can break it down a lot better than I can. Maybe I can jump in a little bit later and try to shed some light on this subject. But yeah, because I'm going to tell you, while I'm going through the struggle, I really don't like it. I really don't like it at all. But enough about that. Let's get started. Maybe nowish.
Hello, Mic Drop Monday family. Allure Unique here for another Mic Drop Monday. And let's go ahead and jump straight into this message for tonight. Tonight's message, this week's message is powerful. And it's walking through the fire while your struggle is setting you up for success. Walking through the fire while your struggle is setting you up for success. My Lord Jesus, that is so deep. This one is personal. All of them have been personal, honestly. But this one hits. It's raw. It's real. It's for the ones who cried in silence. For the one who smiled through pain. For the ones who've been walking through the fire asking God, why me? Why me? And I have to be transparent. I've been there. Just recently at that. Not understanding. As much as I give and I give and I give, people just take and they take and they take. And I don't see the genuality. I don't see the love that I pour out being reciprocated. But I have to understand everybody is not like me. They not like us. They not like us. And let me tell you something today. The fire was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to develop you. It was meant to develop you. It wasn't meant to destroy you. Understand that. That's a fact. We got to go through something to get somewhere. Like Sister Act 2 say, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Pay attention. Understand that the struggle is truly your strength. This is why you got to drop that and get dog with the Lord. This is why you got to gain that real struggle strength that I be telling y'all about all the time. Because what I want you to understand first off is that the struggle is real. But so is the fire. The fire is real. And again, we all got to go through something to get somewhere. We live to learn how to live rightfully and righteously. So therefore, we have to go through things in order to really come out on top. And we have to learn our lessons in order not to repeat those same obstacles or mistakes that we've made prior. So when I say that the fire is real, understand that some of us are walking through flames that feel unfair. Pain we didn't ask for. Betrayals we didn't see coming. Loss that shattered our spirit. We say, God, I'm doing everything I can. Why does it still hurt? But listen, even gold has to go through the fire before it shines. Even diamonds are formed under pressure. And even warriors are trained in the heat of battle. The fire isn't punishment, it's preparation. The fire isn't punishment, it is preparation, people. And I want you to understand that struggle doesn't mean you're stuck. Struggle does not mean that you are stuck. Too many people make the mistake. Too many people make that mistake. That the struggle has them stuck. Too many people mistake the struggle for a stop sign. But baby, it is a green light with resistance. God is stretching you. He's breaking things off of you. He's allowing the pressure to create power. And we want to have dunamis power. Scripture says in Peter 1:7, these trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. And again, that is 1 Peter 1:7, excuse me. So when life turns up the heat, don't break down. Break through. Know that you are becoming. Who you're becoming. Who are you becoming? That is the question that you have to ask yourself, because every hardship is shaping a version of you that you didn't even know existed. The fire is refining you, not redefining you. You are not your pain. You are not your trauma. You are not your mistakes. You're the one who survived it. You're the one who kept walking through it. You're the one who didn't quit, even when you wanted to. So let's be real. Sometimes the only thing keeping you going was a silent whisper from God saying, keep going, my child. I'm with you in the fire. And remember Daniel 3. The Hebrew boys were thrown into the furnace, but they weren't alone. The king said, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, and one looks like the Son of God. I want you to understand that God doesn't always pull you out of the fire. Sometimes he walks you through it. So you can testify that even in the flame, you didn't burn. You were built. And now you are going from surviving to succeeding. That's right. Now you're going from surviving to succeeding because your struggle is your setup. God is taking what the enemy meant for evil and flipping it for purpose. And Romans 8:28 says, and we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God. And this is why we got to drop that and get dark with him. This is why we want to get G'd up with him. This is why we want to gain that confidence that we need in order to proceed and succeed on yet in this battlefield of life. This is why we got to get this livid ecstasy, this state of wonderment and mental clarity, to understand that the struggle is truly our strength, so that we can move forward with real struggle strength. Because you're not just going to survive this fire. You're going to come out of it with strategy, strength, and supernatural flavor. People will look at you and say, how did you make it? And your answer will be, I walked through the fire, but God walked me out good. Now here's the challenge. Here's the real struggle strength challenge for this week. Don't curse the fire. Learn from it. Don't stop in the smoke. Walk through it. Don't question the breaking. Honor what it's building. You might be in it right now, but don't forget this. What breaks you today will bless you tomorrow if you do not give up. And declare this out loud. I'm walking through the fire. I'm coming out stronger. I will not be burned. I will rise. I will rise. So today, real struggle strength is about remembering this truth. You were chosen for this journey. You're being changed by this fire. And you will be crowned after this storm. So walk through it boldly. Walk through it with faith. Walk through it knowing that your story is becoming someone else's survival guide. You're not finished. You're on fire with purpose. You are on fire with purpose. So let's declare this right now. My struggle is shaping my strength. I am walking through the fire, but I'm not walking alone. I will rise from this. I was built for this. I will not quit. This fire is not my end. It's my entrance into everything God has promised me. And that's on Real Struggle Strength, baby. Y'all, this is Allure Unique. Again, y'all understand. Drop that anchor and dock with the Lord. Know that the struggle is truly your strength. Get you there. I love you.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Kelly here. It is another Mic Drop Monday. And today we're going to be talking about walking through the fire. Why your struggle is setting you up for success. Now I know that sounds funny, but if you have ever asked yourself, like, why is this so hard? Why me? Am I even on the right path? Then that's what I mean by walking through the fire. You are starting to realize that your struggle isn't punishment. It is preparation. All right. So I'm going to be perfectly clear. The fire, the struggle is real. And I don't care if it's rejection after rejection after rejection, struggling to sell your book, struggling to get seen, and you're watching everybody else blow up, and you're barely getting any likes or views or traction or attention. Yeah, that fire, it burns. But I'm going to give you a truth. With every truth, transformation requires heat. Gold, refined by fire. Steel, strengthened by fire. And you? Well, you're being forged by fire. You're not broken. You are becoming. So I think we waste so much time trying to get it just right, trying to be polished. I'll do this, I'll wear this dress when I lose that weight, or I'll do this when I do that. We're always looking for that perfect moment. And I realized something, that's when you're trying to appear to be successful. You're trying to avoid failure at all costs by putting up smoke and mirrors. But you know what? That messy middle, that is where you actually learn. When the uncertainty is there, when you're actually building. You want clarity? Yes. And sometimes it only comes after the fire strips away everything else. Sometimes the fire is what reveals your real voice. Stop waiting to be ready. Stop waiting for that perfect moment, because I'm telling you, it's never going to come. The moment will never be perfect. You trying to appear to be successful rather than actually trying to be successful are two different things. I say stop waiting to be ready, and let's go. Let's start walking through that fire. Let's start looking at our alleged failures. You know what? Because what's on the other side of that fire is going to be wisdom. It's going to be grit. It's going to be perspective. You can't coach someone through something that you've never faced, and if you want impact, if you want a legacy, it is not going to come easy. But when you walk through that fire, and you will survive, you will come out stronger on the other end. You will come out with something that no one can take from you. Confidence born from survival. Credibility earned the hard way. And clarity that you paid for in tears, time, and tenacity. You don't have to love the fire, but trust me on this one. It is shaping you. So, I've talked a lot about walking through the fire and it shaping you. And I've even talked a little bit about the messy middle. And it's hard sometimes to keep going. Trust me, as someone who's out here trying to build something from nothing, I sometimes feel like I am literally screaming into a void. I wonder myself, does anybody even give two shits about what I have going on? But you know what? I am here for consistency, and I'm also here for me. So you know what? When I feel like this, when I feel like things are falling apart, this is what I say. Now, I need you to say them out loud too, because this is for you. You know what? This is hard, but I'm not quitting. Say it. It's hard. It's okay. Admit it. It's hard, but I'm not quitting. Not everybody can handle the heat. So sometimes you have to surround yourself with people who won't let you burn alone. Sometimes you have to surround yourself with people who are willing to get in there and fight and not give up and help you build something just like you. Document it. You know what? Document it, journal it, record it. One day you can use this to tell your story, and maybe you can help somebody on their journey, because you're going to be authentic with them. You're going to show them that messy middle because they can relate to that. We relate to people when people are real. And most importantly, take care of yourself. Rest is not a weakness. You don't have to walk through the fire nonstop. You can stop, you can pivot, you can pace yourself. So how does all of this come out to triumph? Well, when you take those alleged failures, which, by the way, failure is not even in my vocabulary. I don't call them failures, I call them lessons. See, all of those things that you tried and you didn't work out, you didn't fail, you were learning. And the next time you're a little bit better, you're a little bit smarter, right? And you can pivot and you can maneuver and you can learn. And that, my friends, is where the triumph comes. All too often, we want that instant gratification, right? We are not willing to wait for the good to happen. We're just not willing. And sometimes we feel like the fire's too hot and we want to be done with it. We don't want to do this anymore because it can be painful. But you know what? If you can endure for just a little while longer, I promise you, you will come out with the confidence and the clarity that you have been searching for years. I'm telling you, that fire isn't burning you. It is forging you. It is shaping you. Like I said before, every transformation requires heat, gold, strength. You need that fire. And you know what? You need those alleged failures, but let's call them lessons. You need those lessons in life so that you can learn. And when you start learning, knowledge, my friends, is power. So, your struggle is setting you up for success because you are learning from the struggle. Anything that is good is so worth building brick by brick. You don't want to be another flash in the pan, do you? Don't you want longevity? Aren't you really here trying to build something? And if you want success, and success looks like different things to different people, but you know what success looks like for you, you are never going to get it if you give up. So you keep walking through that fire. Go ahead and get burned. It's okay. You're going to come out on the other end, and you're going to be such a better person for it. It's kind of funny because I have learned that, for every closed door, there is a lesson. For every no, there is redirection. And for every silence, I consider it to be straight training. I learned that disappointment will not kill me, but playing it smart just might. You know what? I learned that doubt is loud. Oh, but discipline speaks so much louder. I've also learned that some lessons cost peace, sleep, and pride, but they have paid me back in clarity. So if you're in the fire right now, if you're right in the middle of the mess, what are you learning? That is my question. What are you learning? You haven't lost. Nope. And you probably thought that you couldn't, but you are. And so what is this moment teaching you? Walk through it. Don't fake it. Don't skip it. Don't numb it. Walk through it with intention, because everything that you're becoming is being built right now. So if this resonates with you, my name is Kelly, and I am the CEO and owner of BrightHeaded Publishing, where we bring bold stories to life. I understand what it's like to build something from nothing. I understand what it's like to feel like those struggles just aren't going to pay off. But I'm telling you, I promise you, if you stick with it, they will. If you felt this one, go check out, either one of my books. Wait for It is about the messy middle of weight loss and what that looks like. All the parts that we don't talk about, all the bad and the ugly. That is what Wait for It is about. Very real. And then You Sound White is about identity and really trying to find yourself and not being taken by how you sound or how you look, but how you show up. They are both raw, they are both real, and they both came from my fire. So go grab them at BrightHeaded Publishing. Remember, if you are a reader and you would like to join our book club, BrightHeaded Publishing has a book club. It's called the IRS. It's on my Linktree. And if you are an author or a creative in the indie author space and you would like to come and share my platform called The Author's Mic every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I welcome you. All the information is on my website and in my Linktree. So y'all, for Mic Drop Mondays, remember, it's okay to feel the pain. It's okay. Sit with it. It's okay. You know what? Because that's going to make you stronger. Don't, seek the truth, seek knowledge, seek power, right? Your power. I wish you all the success. As a matter of fact, every day that you show up, you are successful. My name's Kelly. Mic Drop Mondays. I'll catch you next time. Everybody loves a before and after story. But what about the middle? What about the part of the story where you're losing the weight, but you're still carrying the shame? What about the part of the story where you are fanatical in your journey? And in losing weight, you actually are losing yourself. That is what Wait for It is really about. It's not the transformation, it's the breakdowns, it's the self-sabotage, and it's the ugly truths that no one wants to talk about. It is not a glow up. This is the story where she's knee deep in it, trying to figure out who the hell she is, right? This is what Wait for It is all about. And if you've ever been stuck in the messy middle, then this book is for you. Go to my Linktree, grab a copy, go to my website. I'm happy to sign a copy for you and offer free shipping.
Hello, family. Welcome back to Mic Drop Monday. So today's message is personal. It's real. It's raw. You know how we do. But walking through the fire, while your struggle is setting you up for success. Man, and coming from somebody who's actually literally walked through the fire. My house burned down before, and I ended up losing everything, but that ended up being a great catalyst for my growth. But if you want to hear more about my story, I'll tell you where to find it, at the end of this segment. But let's get into it. Okay. So I want you to breathe right now. And if life has been hitting you hard, this is for you. You're not breaking down. You're being forged. Have you ever asked, why me? Why this pain? Why this struggle? I know I have before. But here's what life has shown me. The fire doesn't show up for the weak. It shows up for the chosen. That relationship falling apart, that job loss, that moment you thought you couldn't take one more step, it wasn't here to end you, obviously, because you're still here. It was here to shape you. The fire is uncomfortable. It burns, but it also cleanses. It also reveals. Yes, it can take everything down, but it reveals what's supposed to be there. And I want to, there was this lady, I was listening to one of my Facebook friends, and she was talking about, I believe she is a pastor. Her name is Kelly France, but she said that she was explaining how there are actual seeds in the forest that cannot germinate, they cannot grow unless there's fire. Their shells are made so hard in such a way that they will not germinate unless a forest fire happens that's strong enough to crack that shell open. So look those trees up, and it's because I did after I heard that. I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So some things in nature, need that combustion for them to grow. So look up those trees and figure that out and make that connection for you. But the fire, it reveals. So, okay, let's talk about pressure. Diamonds don't get made without the pressure. We all know that. And you've been conditioned to think that struggle means that you're losing something. But real talk, like struggle means that you're being shaped. You're in a season of that. And some of the greatest breakthroughs in my life, it didn't come through ease. Like, I don't think any breakthrough came through something being easy. Gifts and abundance and easy stuff came after I made it through. But it's like you have to get through that to get the blessings on the other side sometimes. And it's like you feel tired, and that's real. And you feel scared, that's human. But what's not okay is letting the fire make you forget who you are. So how do you walk through the fire and not get consumed by it? You stay connected to your source. You pray. You journal. You breathe through it and meditate. You remember your why. It's like I have this conversation with myself almost every day. It's like, who are you? Why are you here? To keep myself grounded and focused on my mission and what I'm trying to do. And a lot of the times it helps with my ego, because I'm like, oh yeah, I can't be like wilding out like that, because it does not align with what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go. And for me, like, my ego is crazy. People are like, "Well, you're such a sweetheart. I cannot even see you acting like that." But look, listen, like, it will come out. Like, our egos are not a bad thing, but they need to be controlled and managed, and in balance. So that's what I'm working on with mine. Like, for example, like, I was at Ross. This will be real quick. My segments are always too short anyway, so I have time. But yeah, I was in Ross, right? And there was this man in front of me, and he had a whole bunch of stuff. And they were having a good old time discussing everything while the lady was bringing him out. So as she was checking him out, she was smelling like each of the items he was buying. Like, he had lotion. She would unscrew the lotion, right? And then smell it. So we're already waiting in line. The line is long as hell. So I blurted out of my mouth. I was like, ain't nobody got time for you to be smelling no damn lotion. We got things to do. Really? Luckily, it was like God made it so that nobody actually heard me, or at least they didn't acknowledge that they did. But it's like, what are you doing? Like, your angels was like, come on, bro. Like, that's, you can't. But anyway, that's just a little side story about ego, and that, about my personal ego and how I'm trying to balance that. But so every time you choose to keep moving, like, even when it hurts, like, even after that embarrassing situation at Ross, I got to go back on my path. That's resilience. So here's like a reminder for you guys. It's like you're not breaking down. You're being forged. You're becoming gold, like a diamond. Your highest version of yourself that you never could even imagine that you could be until after all the BS is burned away and you can see clearly. And when you come out on the other side of this, you're going to shine in so many ways that you never, ever even imagined. So thank you guys for listening to my segment and for tuning in to this. And just share this message, share this video for someone who's walking through their own fire. I mean, we have beautiful people on this panel that are showing up every week, giving the best message that we know how to give. So share this with somebody, drop a comment, motivate and support us. We're humans too. So yeah, support us, you guys. And if you want to hear more about my story, I have a platform. It's called Raising Kings. And it's a platform for single mothers raising sons. But as a single mom, we are very multifaceted, extremely. So it's not just how to raise your kids, it's how to grow yourself as a woman so that you can show up as the best version of yourself for your children. So you can find me on Instagram. It's raisingkings_. And I have a bunch of free resources for people there, a lot of offerings for you guys to go check it out. And I also have a YouTube channel. I have a podcast for Raising Kings. I had some really dope people on there sharing knowledge from what they do. And that is Raising Kings 25 on YouTube. So thank you all once again for watching. This is really great, and keep walking and keep shining, keep building, keep doing what you guys are doing and walking through the fire, and just know that just because things aren't easy doesn't mean you're not growing. And like we said in this message, sometimes the catalyst for growth is going through the fire and going through difficult things and finding out who you truly are. And it's not to say that to elevate and evolve, you must go through the hell and brimfire or brimstone or whatever it is they say, whatever they said. But that's not saying that. But if you are going through it, know that there's a reason behind it. It's for your strength. It's for your growth. It's for your fortification. And you're going to get through it on the other side, way more shiny, way more progressed, and just way more beautiful from the inside out. So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, share this video, support Church of the Real Talk. There's not a lot of churches of real talk around. You can check. I talk a little bit about the church on my page. I was a pastor. I used to be a Christian pastor at one point in time. I don't go against Christianity, but some of the things we just talk about some stuff, on my page. Go check it out for yourself. But thank y'all for watching, and we will see you next week.
Yes, the struggle. What is the struggle? When I think about that word struggle, I think about, getting something that I don't have or that I really want or that I've never had before. I'm embarking on this journey to make it happen, as kids would say. The struggle, basically, I think the very definition of the word is leaving your comfort zone. Nothing magical ever happens in the comfort zone, at least in my experience. You've got to get just a little bit uncomfortable, hence the struggle. So you've got to give up something. You've got to give up time. You've got to, give up some creature comforts that you've gotten used to doing all the time. You've got to give up, playing around. You've got to get serious about it. But see, once you start to embrace the struggle, a couple of things happen. Sometimes you hit it the first time and you hit it right out the park. And that's a good thing. But me, I'm the type of person that I like to fail every once in a while, or I like to, I guess, draw out the struggle, because through the years I found that while in the struggle, once I exit on the other side of the struggle, obtaining whatever it is that I set out to get, I find that I'm a little bit more resilient. I'm a little bit more stronger. I'm a little bit more equipped to deal with the next struggle. I think a lot of people tend to forget that the struggle is important. It's going to help you succeed, okay? So look at it this way. Maybe this will make just a little bit more sense. You know, you're trying to, go back to school and finish out your degree, or go ahead and get your master's or your PhD or whatever. You're trying to go out there and get it. But for the last 10 years or 5 years, you've been used to just enjoying life. Monday through Friday, you go to the office, you go to work, you get your paycheck, you go party, you go have a good time, you go out to eat, you go to the movies, all those creature comforts. But if you need to get this degree, some of that stuff has to stop, because now you've got to spend time in books. Now you've got to spend time researching stuff. Now you have to spend time just basically understanding stuff. And we call that a struggle, even though it's making us better. I think that word should be changed. Okay, I think it should, instead of calling it struggle, we should call it elevation. We should call it, I'm becoming the better version of myself. Well, that's a couple words, but still, we have to take that, because when someone says you're struggling, we automatically put something negative, but we attach something negative to that. Sometimes 99.9% of the time, the struggle is actually a good thing. Sometimes putting this together, I have learned so much since I've started. I think we're up to episode 15, I think. I have learned so much doing this. Every once in a while, something will just go haywire. Something will fail, and I say to myself, oh my God, I got to struggle through this now. I got to figure this out. Here it is, Monday afternoon. I've got to figure this damn thing out like nowish. This is going to be a struggle. Well, you know what? I always end up figuring it out. I always do. Okay? And at the end of me figuring it out, after hours of wanting to throw my mouse across the room, or throw hard drives, or jump up and down and have a temper tantrum, it's usually something that I'll know how to fix super fast next time. It's something that now I understand. At the bare minimum, now I understand exactly how the program I'm using works. So after coming out of the fire, after coming out of the struggle, I feel better about myself. I now feel better about my capabilities. I now feel better about just being me. Because usually when we come out the struggle, the first thing we do is we go like this, yeah, I figured it out. We're looking around. Did you see me figure that out? Did you see that? I just figured that out on my own. No help from nobody. We feel good. So maybe we should change that word. Maybe we should give it another word to describe our growth. Because every time that you go through the fire, you're growing. I hate to always transition back to No More Chains the book. One thing that I noticed after I wrote the book, after I broke free from the chains, and after I started to get past the trauma bond, I learned so much about myself. And especially getting past the trauma bond, it was like, I thought it was a struggle. I really did. I thought I was struggling through something. I thought I was going through something that, this isn't fair. I shouldn't have to go through this. I did nothing wrong. Why am I going through this? But then, as I proceeded along, as I started to help other people heal, as I'm doing more stuff towards this movement, towards this mission, it's not really a struggle. It actually is growth. It is actually walking within my purpose. See, there's a saying, like, in every religion, be it Islamic religions or Christian religions, or even through Buddhist teachings, that you're never given more than what you can bear. Never. You have never been given anything in your life that you couldn't figure out, as long as you took the time to figure it out. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Sometimes you can figure it out in a few minutes, a few moments. But sometimes you gotta literally walk through the fire and burn your feet before you figure it out. But you always figure it out. So maybe the struggle is a way for you to at least appreciate the success, the vanquishing this dark thing, or just getting through something. Maybe that's what the struggle is all about. We will always struggle with something. I guess it is just the tapestry that is life. We will always have something that we will struggle through. Some things big, some things small. But each time that we get through that struggle, each time that we get past that thing that we feel that we will never get through, we soon find that we're just that much stronger. And by being that much stronger, it allows us the capability to sometimes inspire someone else to be stronger, someone else to adapt to their struggle so that they can quickly get to their success. You don't wake up in the morning and have success. There's always a struggle attached to it. There's always some work attached to it. I tell my daughters this all the time. Nothing comes easy. If it's really worth having, you're going to have to put in some work. You're going to have to go out there and put in some work. And the kids look at it as struggle. You're going to have to struggle through it. If you want to learn how to do this, maybe you can't play as much. Maybe you have to break off some playtime so that you can actually learn how to do this. And I guess, with my girls, it's a little bit different than my sons. My sons, they were, oh my goodness. They decided they wanted to make a movie about a Spider-Man shark or something like that. And they wanted to do it. They talked me to death for like 3 hours, and then I came by their room and I was like, I'm excited to see what you're going to do. I am so freaking excited. Then I came by the room again and they're playing, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's going on with this spider shark thing that you got working on? How's it coming along? I said, we're not working on it right now. We was hoping that I had to put the brakes on that right there. And I was like, but this is something that you wanted. It's not something that I want to help you, but it's not something that I wanted. It's something that you wanted. It's something that you sounded excited about. It's something that you're going to have to put in the work to actually make it happen. They were about 9 at that time, and now they're all grown up. And, it makes me proud to know that they understand what I was talking about. Sometimes you've got to give up the things that are comfortable. In that case, it was them playing with their little cars on the floor. You have to give up what's comfortable to be able to get what you really want. And then that word comes right in between that, the struggle. Because you're leaving your comfort zone and you're coming into a state of not being comfortable with the focus on being, hey, listen, this struggle is going to set me up for success. I'm going to get exactly what it is that I want. I'm teaching my little girls that right now. We're doing some AI stuff, and I'm trying to teach them, like, hey, listen, you gotta spend some time doing this, and I'm trying to show them this building block builds off of this building block, and you're going to get the results you want, but you gotta put in the time, you gotta put in the effort. They're 3, 5, and 7 now, so based on that formula, hopefully they get it and understand it by the time they're like 24, 25. You can only hope. But stop looking at the struggle as something bad. Look at it as something good. It is the pathway to your success. And with that being said, I want to thank all of our featured speakers for chiming in on this subject. I want to thank all of you for actually sticking through this. Leave your comments. Let us know how you feel about this. We do this every Monday for a reason, because we really want to motivate the masses. We really want everybody to get to the next level. We want everybody to be on their A game. You know, and sometimes hearing a complete stranger tell you something that you might have known all along, sometimes it can actually help you. With that being said, Minister Robinson, Church of Real Talk, mic drop Monday, son. You already know. Love you guys.
You think it was just a bad relationship, but it wasn't just that. It was a soul theft. Narcissistic abuse leaves scars no one else can see. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is name what really happened. No More Chains is an unfiltered, soul-level audiobook for survivors who are done pretending it didn't happen. For those ready to turn silence into clarity and pain into power. If you're still questioning what they did to you, if you're still trying to figure out who you were before they broke you, start here. The audiobook is free, because your healing should never be a luxury. Your freedom isn't up for sale. It starts with truth. Download No More Chains today. Link in bio. Share it. Live it. Break free from the chains.